and really come into its own if these steadfast presence usage from Yijin is on point.
We had a lot of time to talk about the two compositions. I'm going to skip over the predictions because at this point we have seen so much game and so many drafts. No one has any idea what's going to happen. So let's once again introduce our casting duo for this second series. It's Rebel and Clockwork. Have fun, guys.
Welcome into game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, of Team Wales versus Genius Esports. As we get a complete redraft of this entire game because somebody doesn't understand the rules. Clockwork, why did you do this to me?
Game 1 was fire, though. No, but seriously, Rebel, you are the biggest brain on this caster desk and probably this rift as well. What are the chances that a team named Genius ignores a global ban on a rune, triggers a remake, and loses 3 bans?
There's a high probability that Biob was just had a preset Alistar rune page. I'm assuming every VCS support does, and just forgot to take off Hex Flash is probably the actual play. That or they were just so tilted about how their first draft went. They were like, it couldn't possibly be worse, even if we lose 3 bans. So maybe that's the play. We don't want to speculate too much, but it ended up being a solid position. The only thing I will say, I not much changed, right? I think Yijin having the Poppy is a good thing, and being able to be this disruptor in a team fight is massive. I actually really like Blaze's Ear. Blaze's Ear is probably one of my favorites inside of the VCS, holistically when it comes to what he's able to do with the champion. And they picked it up as a result of this game happening, so I can at least give that over to the side of Genius Esports.
Right, that's the biggest positive of this redraft. We don't have the R into the Sandra matchup, and we have two mid laners that are actually exciting. Okay, yeah, they're not going to do much in lane. Galio is probably going to shove and try to help kill Queen, and Blazes will probably just farm. But at least we get teamfight action. There's the Galio all to intervene in skirmishes, and Azir is a proper carry, unlike the previous 2 mid laners. So this is a great positive. Big success, and also, that's it. Also nothing.
All right. Well, we'll see if anything kind of differs in terms of game plan from the previous one. I guess we should talk about what happened to Team Wales composition, mostly because obviously they're the ones that gained basically 3 extra champions of kind of value. Actually, realistically, they gained 2 champions value because for some reason Genius Esports missed a ban in their first phase. So I don't know.
It never ends. It never ends.
The VCS is literally the worst drafting region in the entire world. If there was a tier list, we'd be F tier. Absolutely, 100% positively. But how is this composition different? Because obviously, Nagia gets the Gwen. We have a different mid laner. Glory's playing instead the Galio for the Predator, that type of thing. How do you expect this composition to work now that we've seen at least a little bit of difference here from this squad?
Okay, so I don't remember the first composition.
Neither
so
do I. I was hoping you would remind me. Dang it. All right.
Throwing me under the bus.
My bad.
But I can tell you very quickly that this puts a lot of agency, a lot more agency on the Killer Queen, on the CBL. They have a lot of tools to engage with the Wukong, Dash, and ultimates, and then the Rakan that dives in, and the Galio to follow up. So there's a lot of engages, a lot of CC. Dota lovers here love the CC. Yijin, what are you doing?
My guy. He went into
Okay. So since I visit Finland and the Northern Europe a lot, there's a law. There's actually a law called every man's right. It means that you can walk everywhere. So Yijin, truly a Nordic citizen, just walks wherever he wants.
I'm so dumbfounded because he saw the Killer Queen in the jungle, right? Maybe he doesn't have the scoreboard up just like us, and so he can't actually see the CS number. But I'm 99% sure the Killer Queen would have been spotted by Yijin. Yijin could see the CS number, and then to have the audacity to walk in and be like, "All right, did you leave any camps up for me? Anything? Can I just have scraps?" And just not to find anything.
Topside. What are the chances that he is topside and not clear the top side?
It's a great question. Like I said, it's Genius Esports. They're trying to big brain something, but I can't figure out quite what it is. Perhaps my IQ is not high enough. I wasn't able to make it through more than 1 episode of Rick and Morty. That's on me, okay? I'm willing to admit my faults where the faults lie. But in this particular circumstance, Yijin was in a very weird place. Glory got a little feisty right there. He popped the Predator. He wanted a little bit of smoke, but thankfully Yijin was in the right position to be able to deny that gank at the time game.
Very aggressive posturing. Yijin needs to come there to kind of cover because Glory just walking up to the PG. This is a Does Glory have the Birdio skin? Because it could be a bird matchup here.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he's wearing the right skin for it, unfortunately. Like, he's not wearing the fried chicken skin, unfortunately, which is really, really horrible. Because Blazes was putting on full bird display for us as we entered the game, but doesn't get the reciprocation from Glory because Glory is a chump. I'm going to call him a chump. That's it. You heard me. You heard it here first, folks. Glory's a chump because he didn't put on the chicken skin.
Strong words.
To do double bird.
Strong words.
Bold takes right here. Only at the VCS English unofficial broadcast stream.
The viewers will have to because I mean, as long as the game is quite chill and therefore, okay, finally Biob takes some action.
Okay, Biob, he's able to land a hook. There's a bit of battling between these two. This W is doing quite a bit of work for Slater. The lethal tempo also helping quite his bit as it's going to knock CBL out of lane. With all the wave clear that they've got, all the damage they put onto these two should be sufficient to at least lock them out of being able to contest anywhere further up than just underneath the tower. If only Biob had a Hex Flash, man. Like, he'd be able to close it.
Yeah. Okay, so we in the VCS, on the VCS broadcast crew, we hate the Nautilus and the Leona, but it's undoubtable that in these early levels, like 4, 5, 6, they do provide a lot of lane presence with... Biob.
Yep. You know what the problem? No Hex Flash. Gotta be it. No Hex Flash. Unfortunately, Biob not able to take the rune that's superior. And I gotta give props to Killer Queen, who played with the vision there really, really effectively, was able to kind of find himself in a position where he was able to get just a little bit of extra distance before he got spotted out. And he's able to make the bottom side play happen, be able to punish Biob.
Look, one thing that we are really missing in League of Legends as a game is stealth plays. There are some champions like the Evelyn, like the Twitch, that are maybe appearing once in a while, but stealth plays are really uncommon, and I'm so happy that Killer Queen is showing up with these little mechanical tricks, because factually it's, you need to be smart to execute it at the right time. So great execution from Killer Queen, already nailing the first blood.
I guess you could call Killer Queen a whale? You thought I was going to say genius, didn't you? Nope. pull the fast on the entire audience. Anyone who's paying attention, which is nobody, unfortunately. It Blazes gets a little coverage from And you talk about stealth plays, right? And I know you wanted to talk about this. This is my transition. There's a character in Dota that's just permanently invisible, right? Like no way to determine you have to buy an item to detect them specifically, something like that.
I have heard you lagging a bit, so I will request you to repeat the question.
There's a character in Dota that is permanently invisible, correct?
Correct, Ricky. He is giga terrible also.
Okay.
Yijin?
Yijin, underneath the tower, able to get Glory, actually flashes out the back of the tower. The same gank actually came through on the other play, but it forced Glory's flash. But this time, Yijin's the one who gets stuck up, as he also has to burn the ultimate just to get rid of Killer Queen.
This is a highlight play. If I'm Yijin, I would pause the game and request it to put this on a montage.
Yeah, Glory's not allowed to have health. That's a remake. Right?
I don't know what was the idea, because Blazes did not have the wave to pull off this dive, and Poppy is not a champion that with boots only does any damage to kill a Galio. So I don't know what was the play there.
I don't hate it if the wave gets pushed. I think if they wait for the wave to get pushed, then Killer Queen arrives, but I don't think that's really that big of a problem. If you end up trading a kill for Blazes onto a kill for a Wukong or a Galio, I think you take that trade all day if you're Yijin, but instead just burns the flash, gets out of dodge as fast as possible, and because of that, ends up just burning some resources with seemingly unnecessarily. Now, it did end up netting a very good amount of control in the mid lane here for Blazes to grab the first tower plating, which is nice. I still think this is the right idea, just making sure that Blaze is going to be ahead. It was our diagnosis before the first game had started, that we really wanted to see Blazes step back up. Maybe this is their offering to be able to do so, but I agree with your analysis that that's definitely going in the VCS cringe compilation. That's our second edition of the day, Clockwork. That's pretty good.
Oh, a great day. We will not be disappointed about this. The thing is, yes, you have unlocked a bit Blazes, put a bit of plate golds on him. But the thing is, Yijin has expanded his flash, so now his ganks are, twice as hard to pull off. Especially because there's like the Gwen, the Galio, and Zeri, they're all hard to pin down, and you enjoy having a flash to, impact the lanes. So now probably Eugene has a bit of a sad time. Oh, the bot lane.
Oh, Ariety just getting run down here. Nice pull by Biob as well on the tower aggro, as that was just a hook into a nice combo from Slater to be able to get a kill onto Ariety, who has been having a bit of a rough split, has kind of fallen to the wayside. I will say Team Wales did punish effectively, right? Like they waited for the push up from Blazes. They were able to TP back in, get control of mid lane, grab the Rift Herald, but unfortunately the bottom side left a little bit open to everything else that came through. And due to that, you see a little bit as Nagia goes after Coded. If he has one more ultimate to come through, W is going to be enough. Coded also does not have the Gnar. I was going to say has the Gnar to be able to disengage, but now Nagia, just running right at him. Wow. All right, Coded turned back twice and gave Nagia an option with the Ghost to just throw the scissors right into the face of the Gnar. The flash was available. It looked like he was trying to get to the wide part of the wall, but just going to get run down.
Right, Rebel. I think it's your fault. You didn't say Coded bad when the game 2.
You're right. Oh, dang it! You're absolutely correct. Okay, here we go. Coded bad. All right, now no chance of anything bad. Coded bad. All right, there we go. My bad. My apologies to Genius Esports. Also, I should have given you full power.
Right, Biob.
Going
just
after
on fire this game. He's justifiably angry about losing 3 bans, so he went to make up for that. However,
okay. That's just a play on the Blazes. A solid attempt at a wall. Unfortunately, not going to burn even any resources. He got caught up in the E as well at the last possible second. So maybe a little bit of misplay of abilities there, but Blazes getting brought down by the 3-man into the mid lane.
This is the Splash trio that I mentioned of Wukong and Rakan and Galio, just diving heading into anyone, and even with Azir ult trying heal for himself.
Beat him up.
Yeah. Wasn't enough.
Beat him up. Okay, Yijin putting out damage against him. Knock up. He doesn't have any spells left. Killer Queen also turns to get away from him. Coded is on the way. We'll see if anything else. Biob is wrapped around the back. That's a flash from Yijin to be able to find an angle on a Killer Queen as he's going to bring him down. 4 members showing up, and ultimately just ends up being a Coded assist more than anything else. But a play to be made onto Killer Queen does open up bottom side a little bit for the Dragon. No jungler around. Yijin able to pick up the fruit. Mid lane priority as well. Everything going well. And once again, maybe not necessarily right off the back of Biob, but Biob finding a solid road timer to be there to support the mid lane if necessary. Collapsing into the middle of the map is genius as they collect their dragon.
Indeed, great from Yijin winning the Bonk challenge. Also just in time to have his flashback from the previous play. And this dragon collected also thanks to Slater. And Blazes getting prio in their respective lanes. So Wales, nothing they can do to contest that. They will need to sit back a bit and maybe try to play a bit more around the Nagia. And I'm deeply troubled to admit Brait is right, but Recollect said it in the first desk that Nagia is actually solid in lane, and he is a top laner that can and should be played around up until the moment where team fights or side lane participation is comes into action. But with the Gwen at the moment is having quite a nice time. 1 kill ahead, couple plates on her plate, pun intended.
Funny enough, little Rift Herald action on the bottom side doesn't quite get the 3rd plate. That would have made a decent amount of difference if they could have thrown 1 extra auto in there and got that plate, but not going to matter all that much. But some of our top laners here have been around for a good amount of time. It's been like 2-3 splits since we got our introduction, as Biob also going for another hook. This time tags a minion, not able to get anything else. And they're not going to commit to that play out of fear that Killer Queen's going to show up at the right time in the right places. Yijin was behind. They're going to find a play onto Slater. He's to flash out the back. E is going to get him a little bit of health back, but that's not going to be enough. Is now into the mix of everything. CBL, Variety, and Killer Queen doing fine. His Blaze is here for the support first. He's going to kick Killer Queen right into the tower, and that's going to be more than enough. I was going to say he's going to be able to tag up the kill, as it's just a 1-for-1. Nothing else to be said here. Glory didn't pop the ultimate anytime during that, just had to run down from mid lane. I don't think he found proper opportunity to really make that one happen.
Your Rebel, our cringe compilation is longer than the list of available bans to Genius, because Killer Queen flash into the wall was not pleasant to see. No. I like that they tried to, the beginning of the action. Well, there's going to be a replay, so we'll see later as well.
Nagia? Will he simply kill Coded? Yes, he will simply kill Coded. That's the second time Nagia has just ghosted right at his opponent. And you get a replay. All right, let's see.
Here comes. Killer Queen just pulls off successfully the first half of the gank. immediately going on to Slater. He has nothing to defend himself with. And then here, just disengage. Instead, he walks really close to the tower. Blazes yanks him below, and then highlight moment. Stumps into. I think he could have escaped if he flashed over the wall behind, but
maybe
probably didn't work.
Yeah, it was a momentary bit of discretion, I think, in decision-making that Killer Queen kind of failed a little bit on. One way or another, he did turn, because I think Yijin would have caught him in the river, and Blazes was faster to get there, and maybe he was worried that the 2v1, so he just said, okay, let's force on bottom lane, let's get something. And they did get a kill back for Ariety, as well as actually picking up bottom wave push so that they can actually get first brick of the game for their bot laner. And that means that, of course, Team Wales now up to a 2,000 gold advantage, and Ariety with the kill and the gold from the tower is actually quite a bit stronger than where they were at just moments ago. This back should actually net nearly a second item, I'm guessing, for the Zeri, which is going to feel great compared to the Sivir, who is on the second Zeal or something along those lines. Okay, decided not to back, so we're going to have to wait a little bit longer for that to come to fruition. Is on the other side of the map, it looks as though push for Coded is being granted by Yijin, just trying to get him some more breathing room against Nagia's Gwen.
Yeah, indeed. Yijin is a bit kind of forced to come up here, because Coded, he cannot deal with the Gwen anymore on his own. He is just constantly going to be shoved in, and the tower in the top lane is very low, so he's risking also dropping the tower. A bit of a skirmish in mid lane, but nothing comes out of it. So yeah, the Gwen needs to be dealt with, and I like that he's aware of that. But now, Herald. Yeah,
Herald was attempted by Yijin in solo. It looks like he was able to get it down basically to a third of its health bar remaining before Team Wales was kind of forcing into mid right there. You could see that Biob and Blazes kind of took the brunt of the gank. And after that, and also the combination of Coded running out of Narbar, I think was enough for Team Wales to actually just run into River and grab a hold of control so that the Rift Herald wasn't safe enough for Genius Esports. So now, working as a collective is the side of Team Wales, where I feel like now the Rakan can deliver Galio into good places. Is the same with the Wukong. This is where the composition starts to really thrive. Do you see a way that Geniuses can break apart this team composition? Because I feel like as a 5-stack, it's super threatening on the side of Wales.
Well, the number one thing I would do is to keep Slater in the backline, press R, run away as fast as possible, and then when the engage from Team Wales has, not come to fruition, because of course they have only one Rakan ultimate, only one Galio ultimate. When that, when these cooldowns have been expended, then re-engage. Try to find some poke with the Sivir, or some counter engage with the Gnar, and so on. So let's see if they pull it off at Dragon.
Going to go over to the side of Team Wales. This is a teleport into the background. Killer Queen is going to die in the pit pretty much immediately as Coded on the other side of the map. As he TP'd in, is going to get caught out, is going to Gnar multiple members into the wall right there, as the Gia is going to try to chase him down with the ultimate. Yijin over the wall to help out his top laner. He's going to buy him a little bit of space as Blazes comes through the bottom side, and he's going to put out some additional damage. Now Ariety and Nagia, the only two remaining members, Nagia able to at least close down one, as so far it's just a 1-for-2 in the grand scheme of things. As Genius Esports, they don't walk away with the dragon, but they do get a solid fight win.
Okay. Actually, I'm going to praise Genius, because they did the other option that is also very smart: attack the engage. They kill the Killer Queen, remove their ultimate,
damage into
heal the CBL.
He is able to escape effectively. Yijin wrapped around the tower is going to shove them off of this one. It actually might buy enough space for Slater to get this wave in position to be able to pull everything else. As we're going to see a replay in this pit.
Okay, regardless of the dragon, kill the Killer Queen first. Okay, one engage is down. Then go immediately onto where is it? On the Glory, right. So he cannot ultimate. Okay. Then the fight is simply, downhill from here, because Wales run out of engages. And, the Gwen cleans up one kill onto Coded, but Ariety and CBL cannot do anything, and the fight is smoothly won by Genius.
And Killer Queen now getting run down by Coded. Is going to have the hyper procs coming through. Boomerang should be enough of a slow, going to force the flash. And Coded not willing to flash as well, as Nagia is right there. So if you don't, best case scenario, you probably trade 1-for-1 right there if you're Coded flashing over the wall. Instead, not going to give that one up. And it's another game where, again, I have been impressed previously by Blaze's Azir. Azir is one of the better champions to take blind in this meta, and we haven't seen this team leverage this nearly enough, but I feel as though Blazes has been so good at this that I want to see more of it, just as much as possible. This game already has looked pretty clean on us. It hasn't had to burn flash nearly as much in the mid lane when aggression is put on. They did catch him out that one time with multiple members kind of jumping into mid lane, but I'm perfectly okay with the way that the game has played out for Blazes so far on this Azir, and it's certainly on on a path to be able to help his team really kind of clean things up and carry their way to a potential win against Team Wales. Definitely one of the members that has been able to stand up to our expectations and really start to put his foot down.
Indeed, this might be too much of a compliment from my side, but if you cover the name tag, I could mistake this for Artifact. Very quiet lane, not much done around lane pressure or such things. But when skirmishes, when mid game and this action around objectives comes up, he's there, provides the damage, provides the peel. A lot. Blazes, please do not.
Okay. Does get jumped on by CBL, who delivers glory. His flash gets him out of a very rough situation. Is coded on the other side, fighting up against Nagia. Has to flash. They're going to find him with a little bit of something as a riot. He should be able to clean that one up. On the other side, the Rift Herald gets dropped. They won't be able to get it before the charge comes through. And now a flash in from Glory to try to find some kind of engagement. Slater's in the back being able to put out damage just as much as he wants. Blaze is also untouched so far. As the Soldier's going to go in and the engagement comes through. Team Wales is now taking a lot of damage. As Yijin was able to find a little bit of something, 2 but damage all pushed out. As Bob's going to find a little bit more. And he's going to be able to put in damage into the rest. CBL now only engaged on the other side. Nobody's able to follow up for Blazes, who's got plenty of soldiers out and about on the map. He jumps into 3 members. He's able to clean up one. He gets traded back pretty much immediately, as that's going to be too much. Beyond able to dodge the laser, as Slater stays up both of them. 2 members remaining, as a scrappy mid lane fight leads to basically even plays. W's not going to be enough, as Slater gets some healing back. I think he wants to push forward for more, but it looks like we're going to be done.
Okay. So what happened here? Coded gets caught on the side. Then the other just abandoned him, just tried to clear the Herald. Everyone jumps in. The team is split. Genius is split now, but there's not enough damage. The crowd control on Genius' side is too high, and then Slater and Blazes put on so much damage in this choke. The fight looks over, but Bio engages again. Slater here fakes face checks, really dangerous, but ends up saving. I did not understand this by Blazes, but could turn out really, really much worse for Wales. There's a grand total of 500 HP remaining on the Rift. That was the mayhem that I wanted to see from this game.
Yeah, see, that's a scrappy fight, and there were a lot of really pivotal moments inside of that one. Both damage dealers on both teams, or all the damage dealers on both teams, really able to stand out and shine. And I gotta give props once again to Yijin, who always seems to catch my eye inside of games like this, where he was maybe pixels off of putting Ariety into the wall in a full stun, and that might have bought space to where, Ariety can't move around the backside of the fight, might have taken slightly more damage. It might have actually been enough to actually win out a situation there for the side of Genius Esports without having to, go down to 500 health total between 4 members of the entire map. Just doesn't matter at this point, though. Yeah, Dragon is up, and Team Wales did great to set this up because they pulled mid tower, and now they've got priority in the river.
Indeed, and they seem to be awarded this objective for free. Genius, I think wisely, not contesting it, actually preferring to take this mid lane tower. Very great trade on their side. Now they're trying to sort of protect their access to Baron, which is alive, but not a feasible objective. Coded on the flank.
Engagement immediately into Slater, who's going to go down immediately. And now we're just looking for Blazes, who's unfortunately going to get dropped by Nagia so low. Biob on the other side of the fight is also getting run down as he's going to try to protect his support, but I just don't think he's going to be able to. Instead, has to run out the other side, as that is an engagement coming through from Team Wales. They grab the Dragon and then engage on Genius, who just feel like they were a little bit flat-footed on their escape right there. Like you said, they were protecting their escape route. They were protecting their ability to go to Baron, but unfortunately, they get forced on, and Team Wales are the ones that are going to walk away massive beneficiaries, as there's no contest. First Baron in the game should be going to Wales easily.
Indeed, without their key ultimates, Genius could do really little to escape the initiation from Team Wales. We're probably seeing replay. And now, after this Baron, Team Wales pretty much has freedom to decide, okay, let's look at it. Yeah. It's Killer Queen immediately finding Slater in an awkward position, and then Team Genius is all scattered. They can only run away, and the team fight is already over by now.
Yeah. I didn't even see how really Killer Queen got onto Slater, because there was no flash available. He had the Cyclone. Obviously, maybe he used a very mean use of the clone to be able to go over the wall or something like that. But ultimately, it feels as though it was Slater who got caught out, which is something we really criticized Slater for over the course of this split. Is his positioning has been punished a remarkably high number of times, where it feels like he is just separated from his team on the wrong angle, and it's led to a position where we know how good Slater can be, but when he's picked off like that, it just does not bode well. His team really misses his damage, really misses one of the primary carries that he's supposed to be for his squad. And when he's not able to really contribute any damage, his team is finding faltering. As Coded on the other side is going to find Killer Queen. I think this should be just clamped off, though, as it's just a little bit of thrown ultimates back and forth.
Yeah, Sivir only has one spell shield, and when you get a Wukong ultimate into CBL Charm, into Glory Knockup, you don't do anything with that single spell shield, and eventually he gets eliminated first. Now Yijin is the next one.
Okay. Well, Yijin does flash and get out without going down. Now, I will say... Oh, go ahead.
Having quite a solid game, actually. He is... Okay, there was a Killer Queen, though. The fight again.
Okay, yeah,
Let's
fight
go.
again. Ultimate to try. Knock one out, Nagia goes down instant because he had no health beginning this fight. As Blazes try to put in some damage, now Coda getting run down on the top side of this one should go down as well. Oh, okay, he's able to flash over the wall. Unfortunately, I think Arietti is going to be able to chase him down relatively quickly underneath the tower, and because of that, now Team Wales is just in a massively winning situation. They've got the Baron buff. They can push in multiple lanes, got a huge play for top side. You see bottom side even under some potential threat. I mean, there's plenty of places to attack. As Slater's going to find Glory, he blocks his E to try to get him out of that situation. Will he win the one-on-one? Blaze is able to find a little bit of something. Can Slater have enough speed to actually get him? He's going to try to heroic to Justice Punch Slater. Cannot quite get it before the pizza ends up bringing him down.
Okay, Killer Queen is the smartest dumb in the league. He has no idea what he's doing, but he's baiting all the enemy team into these awkward choke points, and then the rest of his team actually cleans up the fight.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is intended, highly likely not, but Killer Queen is finding all these moments, all these angles that are extremely unlikely and unadvisable, but, you know, the score kind of reflects it, 1-4, but, you know, all the engages are winning team fights. So something is right. I cannot point what, but something is right.
And on one hand, I will give props to Killer Queen for baiting them right there and making them walk into a choke point, but I want to give a ton of props to Variety, who, like, he stood resolute right around the Raptor wall, making sure that if members like Blazes and Slater were going to step up for the fight to try to, you know, slide in and use the wall, try to put in a couple of ricochets from Slater, that they were going to take a ridiculous amount of damage on the way in. And Variety prevented that, was able to clean up kills on the backside. A surprisingly adequate fight coming through from Variety, who, again, somebody that we've really criticized, I think, alongside Slater as a fight. It's just Killer Queen in the same spot as always, confusing himself for a wolf, as CBL is going to get absolutely eviscerated off the back of some knockups coming through. Once again, team fighting tool from Killer Queen down. Nobody able to help support their support right there on the side of Team Wales.
Okay, this time the killer bait not happening successfully.
Okay, we are in very weird position as Yijin is going to put Nagia into the wall. Going to use the face rush to just absolutely schmoove out of there as quick as possible. Coded on the TP in as well. Happening? No ultimate from Killer Queen.
This is the Scooby-Doo chase when everyone goes indoors and exit from different doors. I cannot understand what is happening.
You have hit the nail on the head.
The dragon is happening, but Ariety spoke completely. Oh no, Biob.
Okay, Biob is going to get caught on the front end of this fight as Nagia is just going to absolutely clink him with the scissors, and it should open up for third dragon here from Team Wales. They did lose one member, but they were not weak by any standard, especially when the resolution or the reinforcements coming through for Nagia means that they're able to push their way into the river relatively effectively.
You already mentioned a couple of times how well Variety is playing this game. We often criticize him. You know, AD carry is a very stacked position in the VCS in the current split. So Variety always gets the shorter end of the stick when it comes to our opinions in our broadcast. But these, you know, Zeri is being piloted to a great effect. It's like Genius had the priority access on this dragon, and Variety completely denied every consequence of it with his great poke on the W, and really actually he made the fight possible. So great stuff on this area. I think, well, if Genius has access to ban, they need to consider it.
Yeah, might be something to consider unless they want to really grab it for Slater. But this matchup is one we've seen a number of times, and it's kind of flopped in both directions depending on who's piloting which champion. It appears as though Variety feels really comfortable, or at least looks more comfortable in this series, specifically on the Zeri into the Sivir matchup. As I believe he played the Sivir too to pretty solid play, so he must just understand the Sivir specifically as a champion to be able to work with. Not out of the woods yet, though, for Team Wales, because obviously they're up 3 dragons to 1. They're up 4,000 gold advantage, and they've got a really good team team fight to put together, right? Like they've got a lot of members that can do quite a bit, but they're not out of it because again, it's still 3-item Azir, still 4-item Sivir that you're playing into. You've got quite a bit of meatball in front of the composition as well. You've got a full tank in the Poppy to have to deal with. So they're going to start up the Baron. This could prompt yet another team fight here, Clockwork.
Yeah, look at CBL. CBL is already hunting on the back line.
Oh, Killer Queen is not even going to wait for the rest of the team. He's going to jump over top of the Baron Temple wall, and that's going to be one brought down immediately as Coda just gets completely destroyed. Blaze is going to throw in some soldiers trying to put out some damage. He already popped his wall, so he has no way to disengage anything else. As Legion is getting chased off, he's going to pop the W. He has just enough healing to get him out of a bad situation. As Nagia can't quite chase him down, the Warmogs is enough to really put his health back up to full health now. As damage is here, Blaze is going to be around with Biob. They're going to try to pick off Glory. I think they're going to be able to get him here. As Yijin is also going to put an additional one into the wall. That's going to be Killer Queen, who has to sneak out the back with just his W. They're not going to be able to put in enough damage. Now Nagia is inside of a choke point to be able to close out this from everybody else. He's going to put damage into Yijin, not going to be able to get him in the wall. As a Riot, he's going to close that one out, and that should be the Baron from Team Wales.
How is Glory alive? He literally jumped into death, personified, and made it out.
I don't... I couldn't tell you. I didn't actually see what happened. I assume he flashed out of a bad situation. It seemed like the Killer Queen, the distraction came through at the last second as Blazes and Slater are all the damage. They're going to try to put something in. Ultimate's back up, readily available as Blazes tries to split the lines. It's not going to work as Ariety is going to be able to hit him with a laser, and he's just going to get absolutely devastated right there. And that's going to be a flash from Ariety to chase down the Soldier Baron, King of Shurima. And just like that...
This is probably game.
Yeah, very easily.
Blazes is dead. Much of the wave clear on Genius' side is down, and the Baron is already bringing the minions up to the mid lane. They decide, however, Wales to reset first. I mean, smart. They want a team fight, and then a Baron, and then another mini team fight. What is Glory?
He's farming raptors.
Chickens.
He's farming raptors.
Glory ulting the chickens. He's like, okay, I understand he still wants to win the bird matchup, but Blaze is dead, so
hold on. He had a chance to win the bird matchup. He chose not to put on the skin. Okay, like let's not give him more credit than credit's due. Okay, CBL is actually in a pretty rough situation now as well. He's going to get locked up by Poppy W. That's going to be enough. Going to put him in the wall. That's going to be one dead. Now Ariety is under some real threat. Biob was able to get on top of him. That's going to be a knock-up. The Guardian Angel's going to get popped, but they can't put in enough damage afterwards as Biob's going to try to sneak out the back of the fight, and it's actually going to work to start with. Coda is just going to get run down as Glory's going to try to chase down BOB. But it's not going to work either. As Slater, Yijin, Coden, everybody is low right now on the side of Team Genius Esports. Killer Queen's going to find one. W's not going to tag anything else, but they're going to go over the wall. They're going to close this one out. I don't care about this fight. Show me the top side of the fight. Thank you very much, observers. As Slater is going to be able to get out the top side. Yijin might have to sacrifice his life just to make sure that they have some semblance of wave clear remaining, but it is going to be that case, of course, that Yijin is going to be able to slow down Ariety and Nagia, as they couldn't find the pick onto the ADC. The Guardian Angel bought enough time for the reinforce, and I think this is the end of the game, Clockwork.
Okay, this is I had a prescription, to curb down adrenaline from my doctor. I failed.
Yeah. You have to up the dosage at least a little bit here.
There's places. Oh, Killer Queen.
Okay, yeah, Killer Queen was able to find a solid positioning onto Blazes, but that wall is going to buy him a little bit more space. As potentially with Blazes and Slater, maybe they don't feel comfortable. I thought that was going to be the end of the game. They were going to push for it, but they're not going to push down the gas any more than they need to. Instead, they just turn back to Dragon and grab up their soul point and then clean up the game from there.
We're getting to the severe critical mass, close to 400 CS, almost full build, and even with the Baron now, Team Wales will have a very hard time to break Genius base. The Severe provides so much consistent wave clear. It's the game looks close to the ending for Team Wales, but it's not going to be as easy, especially if Slater manages to just stay alive in this. I don't dare call them fights because they're goose chases or something like that. But as long as Slater doesn't die, there's a chance to Genius to Turtle close them. Try to defend their base with something.
I will say my one and only concern with this is that at the moment with Ocean Soul, Sivir's damage isn't particularly high burst. Neither is Blazes, especially with Leandry's. It's a lot more tick and it's a lot more based around soldiers autoing just in general. It's not quite the DPS build. Like you're not going to drop someone 1,000 health in one shot or anything like that. And so Ocean Soul actually gives a fair amount of sustain over time, which makes it more difficult for Slater and Blazes to get through health bars. And I will say that's probably the death sentence. I think that's going to be held as out battle lines. Killer Queen going to take all of his health bar. He's going to be able to W. Oh, Slater is able to get him. Ultimate. Yijin charged it. I think he wanted Nagia. Isn't able to find him. Nagia broke vision. Well played from Nagia. But at least a little bit of breathing room now as Genius Esports don't have to worry for a second as they were able to bring down Killer Queen.
Okay, so Wales is going to win this eventually.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, Genius can literally drag this till 60 minutes.
Yes.
Do we want that, Rebel?
No, I do not want that.
You are wrong. Yes,
I would like to go to bed.
Wrong. There's 2 more games and 6 more remakes of this. So get ready.
Okay. Please don't curse us like this. This is not the curse that I want. This isn't. I can't do that type of.
Severe. It's Azir. We're past 35 minutes. There's an Ocean Soul. Team fights are going to be, very long.
Okay.
And bringing waves into the base is going to be very hard for Team Wales.
Okay.
They don't have, that excessive wave clear to compete with Genius on that side. And the Galio does not provide a lot of damage anymore. The Gwen cannot, if you go to the sideline with the Gwen, it's not really effective because there's a Nazir, there's a Severe parked there just waiting for you for the wave. So the Gwen is not effective in opening up the map. Team Wales need to bait Genius into some fight.
Okay. Biab is going to die. Ultimate from Yijin is massive. Not going to do anything as it appears as though Variety's going to be able to run him down. Blazes was literally backing as his teammates were getting run down. I don't know what that was like, but that should be the nail in the coffin as all of your copium that you were dealing with seconds ago, your prescription for copium obviously ran out as well as your prescription for anxiety is. It appears as though Team Wales has now caught more than enough to be able to close out a game like this. It's only in the last second. That's a jump in from CBL as Blazes also is going to be able to get knocked up, but he's going to find a way out with the flash outside of Glory's range. As like you said, the wave clear is at least high enough. Perhaps it is my copium subscription that has run out. As it appears Team Wales will not close the game again.
There's 23 minutes missing. Team Wales cannot push they don't have a Jax that Fiora that can hammer into towers as fast. They don't have that much range also because Zeri is the only one that has a slither of range.
No, you did not just do him like that.
Cody,
you did not just add him to the cringe compilation. Please. No. I see that in League of Legends TikToks right there. This is a replay of the fight that had happened as Mia actually just getting run down. Yijin had to flash the other side of the fight. This is where Blaze is just
This is not a fight. This is not a fight. We need a new word for this. However, Team Wales, during the replay, they took the Baron. This is, okay, look at this Nagia. He's a 709 Gwen. I have never seen a 709 a Gwen
with a 25 stack Magi's, yeah.
So little relevant. What did she do? in the last 20 minutes.
I don't know, dude. I feel like I've been robbed of 18 minutes of my life plus the draft. It just never happened. This game is killing me. At least give me some more goonery.
Next push. This is at least going to take half the health bar of this tower.
That's copium. That's such hard copium right now, unfortunately. Because I just don't know if Wales are ever going to be able to close this game. We might be in for a 16-minute thrash. Okay. Let's reel back in because there's plenty of resources to use on the side of Team Wales. They obviously can't lose this game now, right? They've got Baron, they've got Ocean Soul. Worst case scenario, they just push in and they go grab Elder Dragon and then walk at the enemies, right? They can't possibly wait any longer.
Oh no, Blazes.
Okay, Blazes doesn't get caught quite up by Killer Queen. Another gets knocked out as Yijin's getting just completely destroyed by Nagia as Biob is trying to slow down people on the other side of the fight. CBL is actually taking quite a bit of damage. Nagia's going to do quite a bit. Yeah, like you said, Slater's putting out decent damage here, but Variety's actually beating him in the DPS battle. And Slater can't even get close enough with Variety, throwing auto attacks in. And I think finally we're going to get the close of the game. I think finally Team Wales is going to be able to wrap this one up. It feels like it lasted way longer than it should have. But Team Wales will get their revenge in game one over top of Genius Esports.
Wow. Okay, Rebel.